folks, thank you so much for staying tuned to KLAS ESPN Sports FM 89. It's the Sports and Lifestyle Show. Jessica Francis here with you. This morning we're going on till 11:30 because at 11:30 we join Garth, who is by Kia Motors, and they're having an outside broadcast going on. But right about now, we're going to focus on the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at. So this interview we have is brought to you by Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at. Love for all, hatred for none. Now we have in studio with us three wonderful gentlemen. Sitting to my left, I have with me Mr. Idris Ahmed. Yes, make sure I get the names right. Over on my right, we have Mubarak Nazir. He's the missionary in charge and senior vice president. And sitting beside him is Khan Malik, who's the national president. Welcome. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having us here.
Yes. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had some very interesting conversation with Mr. Ahmed about this particular community because, of course, it's very new to us. We don't know much about it. So, I want to pick your brains now about this book that you've given me to read. It's called World Crisis and the Pathway to Peace. Now, I know, of course, that is something that is very dear to you and you want to discuss that. First of all, I do know, asking you in the break, you mentioned that you wanted to speak about the sanctity of marriage. Yes, so which of you would like to open and talk to us about that?
Mr. Mubarak Nazir would like to open it.
All right, Mr.
First of all, we wanted to come over here and see this beautiful island. You excel in sports, famous all over the world.
Yes.
You're also famous for your music. And the one-liners by Bob Marley. So we wanted to come and have a look at this beautiful island.
Yes.
And see these beautiful people struggling to make a good livelihood. We have our community over here, not a very large community, but a very vibrant community. So we hold our annual conferences every year. So this year, our conference was also on this crisis of the world, because the head of our community, spiritual head, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, has repeatedly cautioned the world that we are heading towards destruction. Maybe this third world war is looming. He has written letters to all heads of state that this is a conflagration which will involve the entire humanity. Humanity is at the brink of disaster. Who could put his hands on the trigger on the atomic war, and once it starts, it will envelope the whole world. So he has written countless letters, many letters to heads of government. And he came to Canada and spoke to the Prime Minister, and he has spoken to the British Prime Minister. He's gone to the British Parliament. He's gone to the EU Parliament, and he's gone to Australia, gone to New Zealand, cautioned the world.
Yes.
That this is a danger which is lurking.
Yes.
And we should take heed, because it is the survival of humanity.
That depends on it.
And so we are little ambassadors of peace going about. I have been to Latin American countries, at least 10 of them, in my recent past. Next week I'm going to Brazil. And so we are going all out, and our objective is to show the world the peaceful posture of Islam.
Right.
Islam has been given a very bad name, alas, because some of the actions of our very Muslims. I mean, destroying schools in Afghanistan, or taking captive innocent girls in Nigeria.
Yes.
Are all things which are really a very blot on Islam.
Okay,
Islam
now
is not that religion.
I'm going to pause you there for a second. What I want to know, because in all of this, in the grand scheme of things, how does the sanctity of marriage plays out in
we feel that the marriage system is breaking up in the world. We are from Canada, and we have studied over there, and we have gone to Europe, and I am from Africa also. I have been in Africa for 27 years. The sanctity of marriages is not working anymore. It's become quite rare. People don't marry. They don't need to marry. and the result is that children, without a father, without a family, I mean, there is restlessness, and children go astray. They don't go to school. They don't have. They're not able to utilize the talent which God has given them. This country has got tremendous talent, but that talent has to be harnessed with proper parents. If both the parents are not there, it's only the mother who is running after her kids. We just went to a home. A woman had 7 children, and maybe the husband is not as particular. And God forbid the husbands go on changing. So, so we came to emphasize to our community that we should learn how to respect our wives, how to respect our children, how to take care of our parents, how to love our homeland, because the love of your homeland is part of faith, according to the Prophet Muhammad. So these are all we discussed with many members. We went to their homes. We saw how they were living, if they had any problems, how we can solve with our little help, with our little things. Our head of our community went yesterday to many homes, very, very far away from here.
Yes.
And so we were trying to emphasize to our members that marriage is very, very important, and living a life without marriage, because there is a day of judgment. There is a day of judgment. I mean, there is a day of accountability. We have to answer before our Creator. What have we done in this world?
Yes.
So because of that, I mean, we were coming and we saw a policeman on the way, and the entire traffic slowed down. Why? Because the policeman had could give us a ticket. What about the Creator who watches all what we are doing? And we don't care what we do. If we are just robbing somebody or stealing somebody's property or not taking care of the wife or being cruel to your wife or not being fair to your husband, well, God is watching.
Yes.
We have to give an account for that. So we were trying to show the true image of Islam, the true face of Islam. Unfortunately, the face of Islam has been distorted, not only by the West, but by the very Muslims themselves. And the Ahmadiyya Jama'at has come to show the world the true picture of Islam, the true face of Islam.
All right. Now, we want to get to the Islamic perspective on the global crisis that is facing us at this moment. And of course, your leader has written about it in the book World Crisis and the Pathway to Peace. So would you like to just...
Right. Mr. Mubarak Nazir was discussing sanctity of marriage.
Yes.
Unless there is peace in the home, in the family, there would be no peace in the world. So the relation of sanctity of marriage to peace, he has explained. Now let us come to the national and international level. There cannot be peace in the world till one nation respects the other nation. Whether a nation is poor or wealthy, strong or weak, they have to be respected on basis of equality. And unfortunately, this is not being done. The powerful nations, they make policies in which they think what is good for their citizens. For example, United States would make policies which are good for Americans, but it may not be good for humanity. Islam tells us that whenever you decide about others, you should observe absolute justice. Absolute justice means that you do not think about how it would affect me. You should think about how does it affect all of humanity.
Yes.
So unless we observe absolute justice in relation between the various nations, there can be no peace in the world.
I note in the book that your leader said that he believes it is the duty of the superpowers within the world to actually find a solution to
Right.
Yes, speak to us about that. And he had one example, Britain, that he spoke about in the book. Why is it the responsibility of the superpowers in the world, these countries, to find a solution?
Because they are controlling not only the power balance but also the economic balance of the world. They make policies in which they ignore the poorer nations, the wanting nations, and they make policies only with the consideration of how their economy would be affected. For example, some wealthy nations would rather destroy their extra wheat in the ocean rather than having it shipped to a poorer nation where all of the people there could be fed with that shipload of grain. Mm-hmm. So this is how the consideration of various wealthy nations who are controlling not only the social structure of the international at the international level, but also the economic system of the world. If they were to be fair, and fair in the eyes of God, according to the standards which God has laid down. If you are angry with a nation, Islam tells us that even then you should be fair to them, you should show justice to them. And interestingly, Islam has given us 3 levels of being fair. Mm-hmm. The first one is justice. Yeah. Justice means that you give everyone what is due to them. And it asks us to rise to the higher level. That is level of kindness. Kindness is that you give more than it is due to the other party. And it creates feelings of gratitude, it creates feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, and this brings peace between nations. And it also asks us to go to the higher level of kindness, that is the kindness which a mother shows towards her children. She takes all the pains in serving them, provides everything she can, but doesn't expect even a word of thanks from them. Mm-hmm. So this is the highest level of kindness which Islam promotes. It should be at the individual level as well at the international level. And why His Holiness is contacting the superpowers? Because it is in their hands today that the economy of the world can be corrected.
Yes, and of course, speaking about at the international level, I notice in the book you're speaking about international relations, how it is that religion takes to the international level, is to teach individuals as well that no nation, no type of people is more superior to the other. So here in Jamaica, don't believe that we're superior right. to others in other parts of the world as well.
You're very right to point out. And again, Islam tells us that God has created us all as equals. Mm-hmm. He loves us equally. And there are no favorite people or chosen people in the world.
That's a point of contention with a lot of individuals.
Yes, it is, but I'm speaking about Islam. I believe that this teaching of Islam would bring in peace where every human being is considered to be a fellow sibling because they are members of the extended family of God. We are all family of God. We are all children of God. And the highest objective of a believer is that God should be pleased with him or her. And God cannot be pleased with us if we are not being fair to a fellow human being, if we are not considering him or her equal. So a lack of peace in the world is also responsible because of this feeling that I consider myself superior to my brother or sister.
Okay. Talking about lack of peace in the world and what are the various factors that causes war, I realized in the book as well, and I saw it on page 123, that you said that we're now in an era where religious war has completely come to an end. And the war and the dissatisfaction in different individuals has to do with more of a geopolitical situation. I mean, what about those people who believe that there's still some sort of religious war that is going on, that it hasn't completely come to an end?
We feel that, well, I'm in Canada. Nobody stops me from saying my prayers.
Yes.
Nobody stops me from preaching. Nobody gives me any problem. I'm there in Europe. I've been there in Africa. So the religious wars just for the sake of religion are no more there. And it was prophesied by the Holy Prophet that a time would come when the Messiah would come and he would end warfare, religious warfare. So we do not have any wars of, we can defend ourselves with the pen, with the tongue. These are the ingredients with which we defend. We are, we are talking about superiority, mm-hmm. that we are all created equal in the sight of God. But there are still two types of superiorities which have been mentioned in the Holy Quran. And one superiority is, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most superior among you is the one who is most righteous, who is most God-fearing, who is most peace-living. That is the type of superiority. And the Holy Prophet said that superiority is also the one who is fairer to his wife. If you are fair to your wife, to your companion, then you are really superior.
All right, I'm going to ask you to hold that point. We're going to take a break. All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to the KLAS ESPN Sports and Lifestyle Show with Jessica Francis, and we're speaking about the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at community, and we're focusing right now on world crisis and the pathway to peace. That's a book that they have, and I'm sure that this is a topic of much discussion with quite a number of people. We are all trying to find some sort of pathway to achieving unity and world peace, and these gentlemen believe that they have the answers to that. Now, I'm going to go back to a point with Mr. Nazir, and we're speaking about religious war. And I said to you during the break that there are quite a number of people who are focusing on the Boko Haram right now, and they're saying to themselves, no, but you can't know what you're talking about, because of course that there is a sign of religious war that is still happening, despite the fact that you said that it has come to an end.
This type, they have their own agenda. People are killing people in the name of God. God is merciful. He does not like his people to be killed in that way. Islam does not allow that. The meaning of Islam is peace. The very word Islam means peace. So killing people, stopping girls from education, which religion allows that? So we are really sometimes so embarrassed that we have to defend Islam, which introduced education for girls. The Holy Prophet said, if you educate 2 girls, you go to paradise. If a mother educates 2 girls, she goes to paradise. And then the Holy Prophet said, paradise lies under the foot of the mother. So these Boko Haram, all political, things, a blot on the fair face of Islam. And we are humble peace messengers who are trying to erase that blot and show the true face of Islam, that Islam does not allow that. These people are fighting a war which has nothing to do with religion. It's a political war. It's a war. They have their own agenda, and they want to take over all these things. And we sometimes feel as if our religion has been hijacked, and we want to wrest the controls of that religion from these vagabonds and these, diehards who are trying to tarnish the fair name of Islam. So if it's happening in Afghanistan, it's happening in Pakistan, if it's happening in Bangladesh, if it's happening in Nigeria, we are sometimes embarrassed. We are sometimes on the back foot trying to defend Islam, while we should be on the front foot, showing the peaceful posture and the good nature of Islam.
Yes, I mean, the last time we spoke about this, of course, Mr. Hamid said that these people have misinterpreted the principles and teachings of Islam. And of course, they talk about war, and really they're using the sword now instead of the pen, which, that kind of thing. So,
because the Holy Prophet said, Yazaul Harba, he will come and stop war. There's no need of war. There's no need of war for religious purposes. People are fighting for political purposes. The West has captured all the fossil reserves of the world, and still they are dissatisfied. And I would like to mention that this dissatisfaction starts from the home. Coming back to the sanctity of marriages, when there's no peace in the home, this restlessness from the home goes to the lanes, goes to the
community, and the next
goes to the cities, goes to the whole world. This is how this chain reaction starts, like a fossil, chain.
When you have a dysfunctional family, it certainly translates to dysfunctional world.
We love this beautiful country. You have so many resources. The ground is so fertile. You have such tourist resorts all over. Such strong people. we wanted to see that this country rises up and people know what real Islam is. So we've seen, churches on every corner. It's a country where I've got more churches than any country in the world per capita. And so we wanted to build some mosques also. Let them have a look at the teaching of Islam. Maybe it would appeal some people. And so we are, going round in our own bandwagon, proclaiming to the world that Islam has the answer to all these problems. Islam can give you peace of mind. Islam can help you on the day of judgment. Because today we are here, tomorrow we are in the graveyard. And we should be prepared for tomorrow, the questions that are going to be asked by God, our Creator.
So let me ask you this. Isn't it that other religions in the world could possibly have answers to peace? Because people are probably thinking that you're isolating and saying that it is Islam and not the other religions which contain the answer to peace.
Okay, I would like to answer this question, and that is that Islam tells us, it doesn't tell us that Islam is the only true religion. It tells us that there has always been one religion of God. In the time of Moses, what he taught was the true religion. In the time of Jesus, peace be upon him, what he taught was the right religion. At the time of Krishna, peace be upon him, what he taught in India was the right religion. At the time of Confucius in China, what he taught was the right religion. And so what we believe in addition is that at the time of Muhammad, peace be upon him, the world had become, because of the rapid communication between nation and nation, it had become a global village. And one message for the whole of humanity was needed. And all the previous teachings have been merged, and a beautiful latest edition of religion of God in the name of Islam has been created. So when I say Islam tells us, I don't mean that no other religion has taught it. What I mean to say is that the teachings of the earlier religions are not intact in the way they were in the original shape. Islam has preserved all those beautiful teachings in a comprehensive form and given us a code of life which gives answer to all the questions which humanity is facing.
Wow.
You see, I cannot be a Muslim if I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I cannot be a Muslim. According to the Holy Quran, if you don't believe in all the prophets, you cannot be a Muslim. Islam is the only religion which respects all prophets of the world.
I should add that a Muslim cannot be a Muslim if he is not a Christian. A Muslim would not be a true Muslim if he is not a Jew. Because he believes in the true teachings of Moses, because he believes in the true teaching of Jesus, peace be upon him.
No, I had to say wow just now because you said that Islam is the one that has these teachings and perspectives intact, which then in my mind translates that the other religions do not.
Well, they have. We do not have a monopoly of truth. To be honest, Jesus Christ, what did he say? A man slaps you on one cheek, you offer the other. A man takes your shirt, you give him the jacket as well. Do we do that? Look at the world wars. When a Christian is not killing Christians, how many millions and millions of Christians were killed by Christians in world wars? In the First World War, in the Second World War. So people have forgotten the true religion, even their own religion. So we are trying, in our humble way, that as Mazuk Lal Khan said, to become good Christians, to become good Jews, to become good Muslims. Because when you become a Muslim, good Muslim, you also become a good Christian. I have read the Bible many, many times. And I have personally shed tears many times whenever I have read the Bible. It contains the truth, many truths. There are some interpolations. People added some things and took out some things. There's no doubt about that. But a jeweler recognizes a stone from a jewel. So we read the Bible with the great reverence. The Holy Quran has spoken about the Bible, that it contains the truth and it contains the light. So while giving respect to all religions, we want to show to the world that in Islam, you become a better Christian, you become a better Muslim, you become a better Jew, you become a better Hindu, a better Sikh. So that's what we are trying to show. But it's good that we make some little investigation. because it's for our tomorrow. I came over here and I was preparing for this 10-minute interview. Why not prepare for the real interview at the day of our judgment?
Mm-hmm.
The undertakers are ready.
A difficult interview.
Difficult one. All right. Now, I see in the book where you speak about the devastating consequences, and we won't have a lot of time because we have just a few minutes left, devastating consequences of nuclear war. Of course, that is self-explanatory, I think, in some ways. Devastation worldwide it comes. And there are a lot of countries right now who are fighting over rights of who should have nuclear power.
Yes, it is a very real danger because
Yes.
it is not only one country which has atomic warfare implements. There are many nations who have in possession thousands of nuclear warheads. And a mistake may occur at any time. If there is a little instigation and a flagrant response, the world may be hurled into the Third World War, which would be atomic war, and we cannot really imagine the vastness of destruction which would follow.
Right.
So this is a very real danger against which His Holiness has been warning us, and the world appears to be not very conscious of this. So it's a real danger.
All right, very quickly now as we wrap up, the path to peace, just relations between nations, global unity.
Yes.
Quickly outlined the principles on which the Golden Quran has outlined for us in establishing peace in the world once and for all.
Right.
Very
I would
quickly.
say that peace should be established on personal level by fulfilling our commitments, by being kind, not only just but being kind, and at international level we should establish absolute justice. This would ensure peace between nation and nation. And at the end, I have a message for Jamaicans. You have excelled in sports, you have excelled in music. You are perhaps the most religious people because you have the highest number of churches per capita in the world. Why not become pioneers in promotion of peace? Why not become the most peaceful country in the Caribbean and then the most
by
peaceful
example.
country in the world
Yes.
by following these Islamic principles?
Okay, great. And Mr. Ahmed, how can we get in contact with your organization?
Thank you. The Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at in Jamaica is located 25 Sugar Way, Bushy Park. That is when you are traveling from Spanish Town to Old Harbour. Our property is just on the right. It is not difficult at all to locate. 25 Sugar Way, Bushy Park. So our contact number is 883-8015. And anytime anybody want to visit or you want to ask any question, so you're always welcome. You can come and then we have discussions over there.
All right, thank you. That was Mr. Idris Ahmed. He's missionary, and Mubarak Nazir. Thank you so much, missionary in charge and senior vice president. And we also had in studio with us Lal Khan Malik, the national president. So the preceding interview was brought to you by the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at. Love for all, hatred for none.
Thank you.